Okay, guys, I hope you're not sick of me yet. I'll try and keep it nice and energetic. Right, so today I'm going to be talking about bottom-up recruitment. So we're going to be talking about how you can upgrade people in your network to enter into being customers, and then customers to affiliates, affiliates to business partners, and to leaders. I think for me, I always have had a balance between working top-down, but also doing bottom-up. And I think both can be really effective strategies. So even if you have spent a lot more time always working top-down, don't forget about this. We have seen so much success, particularly in North America, with this strategy. They are creating a lot of team elites, a lot of million-dollar circle earners off of the back of tapping into their network and exposing people to the opportunity in a different way. So it's always good, I think, to be open to other things that potentially work. So this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be covering today. So we're going to talk about sharing, how to enroll people is the way I like to explain it, and then upgrade people. I'm going to talk as much as I can about different strategies that I personally use, that I've implemented within my organization that has worked. And for me, I always think about this process as like a continuum. You could think about it as a funnel, but I like to think about it more as a continuum, where you've got potential people in your network, and for me, everyone is going to fit into one of four categories. They're going to be potential business partners, potential affiliates, potential customers, or potential referral sources. Don't forget that fourth one, okay? Because even if they... And I can't see why anyone wouldn't want to use our products, but even if, for whatever reason, they're not at the right time to try our products, they can still share what you're doing with other people. So how we get people onto that continuum, and what I want you to take note of, because this is a mistake that I see people make all the time. If you have someone that upgrades to affiliate, and then at some point, maybe the timing isn't right for them, or they decide they don't want to do the business anymore, don't just disregard them. So many people are like, oh, they quit. I'm never going to speak to them again. I'm so offended. I'm like, if they're not an affiliate, they just downgrade to a customer again. And so it's really, really important that you don't lose those people out of your organization. How many of you have found that maybe your previous affiliates have been some of your best customers? They're the people that they have spent a little bit more time educating themselves on the brand. They know the value of the products. So if you're losing old affiliates out of your organization as customers, that's a terrible place to be. They're always, and if I ever see someone drop off their ADR or whatnot, I message them straight away to be like, what's going on? So we're going to talk about how to unlock the potential of your network, how to identify potential business partners within within the affiliate force once they're signing up, strategies for upgrading, and so on and so forth. So what are some of the reasons why you should focus on bottom-up recruitment? It's a really great way to lay strong foundations. So think about it this way. How many of you are significantly more passionate about recommending something when you've had a positive experience with it? Yeah? So sometimes people come into the business top down, and they enter in because they see the big business model, but they've not even had their own personal experience yet. Whereas when you've had a personal experience, and I shared one of mine yesterday with the Well Spa, if I had tried that product, do you think I would be passionate about sharing it with other people? Of course I would. And then you can see, if I'm like, oh my God, this product has changed my life, and someone said to me, do you know there's a really great business opportunity off of the back of this product? It's really easy to transition people further along the funnel or further along the continuum. Potential increased retention, again, because people have that passion and that authentic advocacy. And this is really what we want to, what I feel like makes us different from other affiliate marketing brands. And the reason I'm, comparing us is because I feel like that's what we're seeing more people do. They're online with doing digital marketing, and they're taking like paid collaborations, or here's a discount code, or link my product, but they link everything. They're nearly as bad as the celebrities that were endorsing stuff they never used. I see people on my social media and I'm like, you're endorsing like 17 different skincare brands. You don't use them. You don't believe in them. Right? So we don't want to fall down that trap. So what makes us different is we use products that we can demonstrate the difference, they're backed by science, and we know that they're going to give the results that we're telling people. We have more credibility when we bring our products to the marketplace. It's really important here. And this is one of the things, and I do see more and more people getting tempted with, oh, well, maybe I need an extra little bit of money, so I'll just partner with a few other brands and I'll link other products. Like, I get the mentality, but I'm also like, you are playing such a short game here. Your credibility and your reputation is everything. And if people think that you're more concerned about the quick cash rather than you adding value to the marketplace, looking after your customer base, leading a team, people can you sense that with other people? Can you sense that with people that you see online where you're just like, my God, they would literally sell anything? Right? We don't want to be this car boot sale. It's really, really important that we maintain that authenticity. That's what separates us. When I'm talking about enhanced team productivity, what I mean by that is there are people that will come into this business, a lot of social sellers at the moment we see, they don't always feel confident straight away to go in with the top-down strategy. And we see a lot of procrastination when it comes to inviting. This is a really simple, easy strategy that we can build people's confidence with. They don't need to be feeling like they're pitching a big opportunity when they don't really have experience in it yet or whatever else. It's a great way where you can get people taking action straight away. And I feel like it's like I said, if you can build people's confidence with that, I feel like then we can start, upgrading them into more challenging things. And then it can give longer-term stability again. Okay, so we really want to figure out, how can we tap in to the masses? So for me, there are a couple of different involvement strategies. So again, I think about anyone can have 100 customers, but it's different having 100 loyal customers. So you want to look at your back office and think, how many of my customers are on ADR or are just transactional? They might buy through a link every now and again. And whose fault is that? We got to take some responsibility. This is one of my biggest pain points right now with social selling is I'm just going to link on my stories and I'm not going to provide any white glove customer service. And that's why we're not, we see it in the UK, again, we're a big social selling market, but they're like, the customers are hopping around like this. And I'm like, why is this happening? If someone says to me, I'm so annoyed I send a link and they registered an account with someone else, I'm like, shame on you. Take responsibility. If you looked after your customer and you were offering them value, they never would have shopped anywhere else. So stop playing the blame game. So how do we increase the customer lifetime value? And for me, that's based on the value that we give to them, the service that we provide. Are we following them up in an orderly fashion? Are we getting our customers from being a customer that uses one product to 2 products to 3 products. We know once we've got a customer that's using 5 or more of our products, 80% of them stay with us forever. That's a really great statistic. But do you know how many of your customers are on how many products? Okay? And how easy can we make it for them to make sure that they're not running out of these products? Because everyone is, busy, fast-paced lives. How easy is it to be like, oh my God, I've run out of toner. I'm in the shop, I'll just pick something up here. We got to stop people from that. And the only way that we can do that is if we are following up, we are checking in, and ideally, getting people set up on subscription. And people are way more open to this now than they have ever been. How many subscriptions have you guys got set up? Maybe phone contracts, gym memberships, Netflix. People are not scared about subscriptions anymore. I remember when I first started, I was like, this reminds me of a car finance program or something, and I'm like, what's the catch? How much money am I going to lose here? People aren't that skeptical anymore. It's much more common. Subscriptions are normal. The term ADR I don't love, so I like to call it loyalty program, subscription program. But there are so many amazing benefits to being on this. You're literally paying 20% more for your products if you don't order it through subscription. Just change it in that way. Explain to them the benefits. And it's so flexible to edit and to manage. And how great is it? We always aim to set our ADRs up before the 5th of every month. When all of your ADRs ship out at once and you're like, right, 3K done. Is that a place where you would like to be? Right? You have to spend the time educating people on the benefits of the program, and 99 times out of 100, you're going to need to do it either face-to-face or on a Zoom call where you can have a conversation and answer their questions. They're not going to just sign up off of the back of a link. Because I can say to you, talk to you about the benefits, and if I text the benefits to you, very easy for you to be like, I'm just going to ignore that, I'm not going to reply. If I have you face-to-face or I'm having a conversation, I'm like, you look uncomfortable with something I said here. What don't you understand? How can I answer, make you feel comfortable? And, they're going to tell, they're like, actually, I signed up to a subscription before, and, I forgot about it. I'm like, oh, well, look, why don't I put a reminder in your phone? This is when it's going to come out, and you've got it there, so that will never happen. Solve their problems, okay? And this is part of the relationship building. One of the best things that we have started doing more recently, and it wasn't me who came up with this, it was someone in my team, WhatsApp broadcast. Do you use WhatsApp broadcast? This is a game changer when it comes to nurturing your customer base. You can categorize them if you want. You can send a generic one to everyone, but you could have your Lumi Spa customers, your ADR customers, your collagen customers. You can put anything that you want, but you can send one message to many people. It is so time efficient. Leverage, guys, leverage. This is what we want. And we generate a lot of orders that way, rather than hoping that someone sees you on social media and hoping, we call it posting and praying, right? You're hoping, praying that the algorithm will work in your favor and someone might see you with a link, but then someone else has got a cheaper discount on there and then you lose out the sale. That doesn't happen on WhatsApp, right? You're not competing with any other social sellers in the market. And by the way, guys, if somebody in another organization or for whatever reason tries to undercut me, or it may not be intentional, I never drop my price to match someone else. Maintain retail where you can. Add more value. I'll say to them, okay, that's fine. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But, I will not be doing any more of my consultations with you. I won't be following you up. I won't be answering your questions. You know what I mean? And I'm like, are you going to get that where you're going? So give more value. And I always think about, if you look at this, well, you can buy a bottle of water for 50p in some supermarkets. But if you think about what you could pay for the exact same bottle of water in a different place, like at my minibar, €4, I was like, are you kidding me, for a bottle of water, €4? On an aeroplane, wherever, depending on where you are, it's got different value. I value myself much higher in the marketplace, and I'm not going to bottom myself out just because someone devalues themselves. So let's talk about then like the different exposure strategies that we can take people through. One of the things that we love to do if somebody is having a great experience with the products, how would you feel about sharing your experience with your network? You're introducing them to the business without talking to them about the business. And I'm like, you can tag me, you can do whatever. If they share something on their social media and get a really great response, don't you think they're going to be excited if you're able to go back to them and be like, oh my God, I have just made £100 or €100 or whatever off of the back of this post that you've just done. How about you keep the €100, but you sign up to the business and I'm going to teach you how you can make even more money. It's so simple. Who's going to say no to that? Okay? And I've seen this so many times. I had a customer for 9 months, and I talked to her about the business opportunity. She had so many products. And I spoke to her about the business opportunity over and over and over and over again, and she always said no. And I just asked her, I was like, will you share this toothpaste post for me? She sold 70 toothpaste, and she's now an emerald in the business. So it's a different way of doing it. And guys, I'm quite a direct communicator. I love going top down, but this is a different way where we can get people into the business. So it's great if you've got like multiple strings to your bow, so that if somebody, you can adapt your approach depending on the person that you're with. So referrals, testimonials. One of the best things, I've not even put it on here, one of the best things that we're doing right now is one-to-one consultations with Vera. Because as soon as people get to experience Vera, they are automatically so impressed with what the company has to offer. And how easy is it to start talking to them a little bit about business? But I'm like pitching them without them even knowing, right? I'm like, this is amazing. Our company's just invested this. This is what it does. We're the first people in the market. It's so exciting right now. Let's go through it. Right? It's subtle, but I'm taking them through this repeat exposure. It's getting their brain ticking. What we love doing is scanning them before, getting their personalized product recommendations, performing a mini facial with the products that have been recommended, rescan after, and show them instant, visible improvements in their skin. It's a great way to get them in as a customer, but also just they see how easy it is. The app is doing the hard work for them. And then it's very easy to say, do you know that there's an amazing business opportunity off of the back of this if you want to know a little bit more? And I don't word vomit on them at that point. I'm like, look, it's not the right time now. Let's set an appointment. Okay? You got to keep them a little bit curious, because I've made all the mistakes in the world, guys, and I've word vomited and given them everything that they wanted, and it's sometimes just too much. Calm yourself, control yourself, do it in a setting where it's not having a fun facial and whatever else, it's going into more of a business environment. Okay? And I think that that's really, really important. But Vera, for me, even online, is incredible. So what we've been doing to tap into the networks, and this is really great for the older guys as well, what we've been doing is getting a Vera link, but sending a message to people and saying, we're conducting some market research. Our company is the first company in the world that is successfully integrating artificial intelligence into the beauty and wellness space. We have got this best-in-class virtual skin analysis app that we're starting to roll out into the marketplace. I want you to be one of the first to trial it for me and provide me with some feedback. right? Easy, right? So all they do then is they click on the link, they go through it, and they come back and they say, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I'm going to talk to them about potentially being a customer, or depending on that, it might even end up being a conversation more so about business. And if they come back, you've got to make sure that you're asking the right questions. So I always say, like, come back and, what is your feedback? What did you think? How likely are you to recommend this to somebody else? And if they're like, 10 out of 10, absolutely, this is amazing. I'm like, well, do you know that there's a really great business opportunity off of the back of this? Isn't that really easy? This is such a great way to invite, because it doesn't feel like you're going in pitching at people. And I feel like this is one of the weak areas that people have at the moment. They're like trying to do their inviting on like a message like this, and they're like, you know what I mean, overwhelming people. Vera gives us credibility. It gets people talking about AI. It gets people talking about IoT. They get thinking about social commerce. Are they not the trends that are disrupting everything right now? But it's simple and it's easy, and anyone can do it, no matter what level they're at in the business. And then business opportunity webinars. These are things that I'm sure you all do lots of. We obviously invite people to come and listen, but another thing that we do is and this is great for people who are maybe a little bit nervous with inviting, but maybe has a great network or whatnot. If we've got a pre-recorded business briefing, reaching out to people and just say, I hope you don't mind me reaching out to you. We've been friends for years. I know you're really successful in your own right with X, Y, and Z. I've currently just launched my own business in this industry, doing whatever. I would love to have your feedback as someone that I trust and whose opinion I value. Would you watch this short business presentation? Let me know what you think. I'm indirectly showing them the business opportunity. And they might come back and say, it's not for me, but I can see that it's great, or blah, blah, blah. And then I'm saying, who do you know that would be interested or would be open to knowing more about this? Is that simple? Really simple, guys. Everyone can do it. That means you should be, if you have got 1,000 connections on Facebook and they've got 1,000 connections, that's 1,000,000 contacts between your first and second network. You should never, ever, ever run out of people to be talking to. Okay? So, and then upgrading your affiliates. And this is stuff that we've spoken about, I guess, in different ways. But for me, even when someone says yes to the business, that's when we haven't even started. They haven't even joined even when they've signed up, as far as I'm concerned. They need to go through nearly 8 concrete exposures of what's on offer before they really start to get it. Okay, so how many of you get and you're like, I've got to sign up. And then the next day they've blocked you on social media, right? Because it still happens, right? And that's okay, but they don't always know what they've said yes to. You see it happen. But take people through the repeat exposures. They need to get to an event ASAP. I got to my first event. I think I was 6 weeks in business. I went to a fast start training, which fast-tracked my business because I learned from so many leaders. I had all the knowledge and the skills, but it built my belief so much. So think about, what are you doing to build people's belief in the company, in the industry, in the products, in the ability to earn money, and in themselves? Always those 5 things. I always take people through exposures to build their belief in all of those areas. And belief in themselves is the thing that takes the longest. But I'm constantly sharing and educating about all of these other things, because if you really have belief in all of those areas, you will never, ever, ever walk away. Most people who walk away from this business do not know what they're walking away from. And again, sometimes they're not open to hearing it, but we also need to take a level of responsibility. Are we communicating to people what exactly is on offer, or are we hoping that they find it out for themselves? Direct people to the resources, because then they will do the same thing. Okay, so think about these things. So getting people to training and events, it's always how I finish every single call that I do. I book in my next appointment with them, but I always talk to them about what's the next event in your local area. That's super, super important. Allow people to learn from the other leaders. And me and Andrea were laughing about this because it's so funny. Like, my team are messaging me right now being like, I'm so jealous. You've got Andrea. She's the best. And then Andrea's team are like, oh my God, Louise. And I was just like, we're literally like identical. We are so similar. We're like copy and paste versions of each other. She's just way more successful than me. But I'll get there eventually. But what's so interesting is sometimes you can deliver the exact same message, but your team need to hear it from a different voice. And I never wanted to be a filtered down version of my sponsor. And I mean that with no disrespect. I picked all of the leaders that I looked up to, and everyone offers something different. Did you find everyone on stage this weekend? Everyone gives something unique. And I pick what I like, and I'm like, how can I emulate them? You know, and I literally, when I started, I made categories of everything, and I was like, who's the person that I want to be like in each of these categories? And how do I get from where I am now to there? How do I close the gap? And that's my plan from upgrading from affiliate to being like a business builder. And I teach people to do this all of the time. I think little things that are so subtle, but again, with affiliates, if they are enjoying it and they feel like they've found a home with Nu Skin, I think recognition is a really big part of this. Make people feel special, even with the smallest achievement. Do you all remember how you felt when you made your first sale? I was like, this works. Crazy. I was like, I made £6 in my first month. It works. It was terrible, but I got £6. I was still proof. When you got my first sign-up after about 1,000 no's, because I was terrible at inviting when I started. But this is it. But I remember my sponsors making me feel a certain way. They're like, you've proved to yourself you can do it once. Now you just got to repeat it 1,000,000 times, right? And I think that it's just like little things like that that help, because I easily could have been like, oh my God, I'm so bad at this. I've got so many no's and I've only made £6. And it's very easy to doubt yourself in that moment when you haven't, you don't know. I had no clue what I was doing. But they made me feel a certain way. They calmed my nerves. They reassured me, and they encouraged me to keep going. And that was a really big part of why I kept upgrading myself, I guess. I'm just trying to think. I think that's pretty much everything. I'm trying to think if there's any other crazy strategies that we're doing, but I think it's all really simple. I bet you guys are all doing very similar things, yeah? Maybe with different spin on things. But yeah, I think just to wrap up, guys, it's just simplicity loves speed. Keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate it. When we go into mass momentum, it's always when we're doing the basics to a really, really high level. So don't complicate things. It's a simple system. Just get people plugging into it, taking massive action, and yeah, go have lots of fun. Thank you so much.